Welcome to Wine Road, the wine, when, and where of northern Sonoma County. I'm your host, Marcy Gordon, with Beth Costa, Executive Director of the Wine Road.
Thanks to Ron Rubin, we're able to keep our podcast rolling along. The financial support of River Road Family Vineyards and Winery allows us to keep recording, keep sipping wine, and keep sharing stories with our listeners. Check out their website at riverroadvineyards.com and explore their Chardonnay, as well as a finely crafted Pinot Noir from the Russian River Valley. That's riverroadvineyards.com. And hey, thanks, Ron, for allowing us to make this show happen.
Welcome to episode 226. Today, we're going to do a little roundup. We're going to talk about a scenic drive. We're going to give you a recap of our Taste Awards showdown. And we have a new segment coming up. So pull yourself up a seat.
Pour a glass of wine.
Pour a glass of wine.
That's what I do.
Well, let's get to it.
So I know it's been a long time since we talked about just great places to drive through. And I think that oftentimes I talk to visitors who are here for maybe a week, and they do a couple days of wine tasting, but then they also just want to do some driving around, some scenic tours. So I thought this is kind of a flashback. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this probably 7 or 8 years ago. But this is really one of my favorite drives in Sonoma County. And I started in Healdsburg because that's where I lived at the time. And to me, Healdsburg, you could start with breakfast if you wanted. I love Cousteau's. I love Parrish. You could also just go to Plank and just get a great coffee and pastry, and then head out West Side Road. And West Side Road is a little 2-lane road that sort of meanders along and kind of follows the river. And it's all just vineyards. There's going to see vineyards on both sides of you when you first leave Healdsburg. And then as you keep going, you end up more in the trees. So the vineyards, kind of fade away a little bit, and you end up with trees. It's beautiful. And you end up on River Road at some point. And when you get to River Road, you hang a right and you head west, and then you really do head into the redwoods. And to me, that's just beautiful. It's a beautiful drive.
I just want to mention, too, as you're coming down West Side Road, you're going past some of our favorites like DeVero and Gary Farrell and Motion. And they're all along West Side Road, too.
Yeah, there's tons of wine. You could definitely stop if you wanted to do some tasting along the way. But for me, this is just what I always thought was astounding is in a 1-hour drive, you are starting in the vineyards, rather, and then you are heading into, pretty solid redwoods that are beautiful in Guerneville. You could stop at Armstrong Woods if you really want to get out and really hike around some redwoods. And there you can do a full day hike if you wanted, or you can just walk around, the floor level there. It's beautiful.
Right at the visitor center. Mm-hmm. And in Guerneville, if you wanted lunch, you could go to the Guerneville Taco Truck. Yeah. Want some pie, you could go to the Bank Club. There's so many good places if you stopped in Guerneville.
Yeah, Guerneville plus just the 5 and Dime.
Yeah. Bethany loves her
and they
5
have
and Dime.
a toy store there that is just, oh my God, there's something for everyone in this store. There's definitely great shops and great little art galleries. Guerneville, you could definitely spend a day there also if you wanted to just, that wanted to be the end of your adventure.
And now you're really in the redwoods as you're driving towards the coast.
It's beautiful. And so you just keep going. You keep going through the redwoods. It's beautiful. And it's, again, just a little twisty road. It's fun to drive on. You could stop at Duncan's Mills.
Duncan Mills, yes.
Yeah. You'd go see Alice at the little wine shop there.
A lot of cute places in that little area.
Cape Fear's great restaurant there. Then you keep going, and then you actually end up at the coast. You end up where the river, Rush River, runs into the ocean there. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. And then you start driving down the coast.
Well, one thing I wanted to mention is you come right over the bridge between where you're getting to the end of River Road. Mm-hmm. There's a little restaurant that's been there forever. For years, it was called the Russia House. And now it's a brand new place, and it's called Jilly's Real Food Roadhouse. Have you heard of this place?
I saw the name change last time I drove by.
Yeah.
But I haven't
so
been
they
there.
have great stuff. They have fried chicken, apparently really famous for these fried chicken sandwiches. They have, Hawaiian pulled pork, burgers, real basic, it's a roadhouse. Yeah. But the views there are spectacular.
That's the thing. The location is amazing.
I don't even know if you'll notice the food because it's so gorgeous, but it's new, and I would definitely stop there.
So when you pass that restaurant, then the road kind of goes up a little ways, and then you can overlook the ocean. I mean, that's it. So
Goat Rock's right there.
It's such a short amount of time. Maybe it's 45 minutes from Healdsburg or so. So you've gone the redwoods, the river, the redwoods, and then then you're right at the coast. And then I just start driving down the coast. It's hard to beat. The road is beautiful. It really parallels the ocean right there.
And all the stacks of the rocks, and it's like a one of a kind view in all of our country.
I think so. It really is. The coastline's gorgeous. You could stop there and go down to where the Spud Point Crab Shop is if you want a great crab sandwich.
Yep.
When I do that, I always take it and drive out to the end to Bodega Head. And you could park up there, which overlooks the ocean. And I've gone there, I don't know, 1,000 times. And I take a photo every time I get there.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why, but it's just so beautiful. It's like, oh, I have to take a photo of
You have
this.
thousands of that
I have
photo.
thousands of the same ones. And sometimes during different times of the year in spring, the ice plant are blooming on the hillsides, and it's just a solid wall of wildflowers.
Little purples.
Oh
and,
my God,
and
it's
the
just
poppies.
spectacular. It's just unbelievable. There are a couple of little picnic tables up there, so you could sit at a table overlooking the water and have your crab sandwich if you wanted. So I love that. And then when I leave there, I keep going along the highway there, keep heading south, and then I turn off to head into the town of Bodega. And there's a surf shop there if you need a surfboard.
Yep.
If you need to rent a wetsuit. Any of those things are
There's
right
also
there.
a nice little restaurant called Casino
Oh, yeah.
right there. And then the famous church from the birds. I
Yeah.
mean, you will recognize this town for sure because that's where the birds came in the schoolhouse. It's
Yeah.
all still there where the birds came down and attacked everybody.
Last time I had some friends down from Seattle, they made me drive out there because I had to see the church.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's unchanged, really.
Yeah, no, it looks exactly the same.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
So that's all still there.
There's also a really nice little coffee shop there. There's an antique store. It's just a
It's a
fun
little
little
art
stop.
gallery.
Yeah, it's a fun little stop. And then just keep driving. And then you've kind of changed into pasture land. And there's sheep grazing and cattle grazing. And it's beautiful. So again, it's a whole different world. You had the vineyards and the redwoods and the coast. And now you're in pastures. It's beautiful. Depending again on the time of the year, there could be tons of wildflowers blooming. We have lots of lupins in this area that just can cover hillsides in purple flowers. They're spectacular. And then I would stop at Freestone.
Yep.
Before you get to Sebastopol, hit up Freestone. I just like the Wildflower Bakery. That's my favorite.
Can't miss that.
Can't miss that. And then I think there's a cheese shop there.
Yep.
There's several different, and plus a couple little
There's also Black
boutique
Kite Sellers is there. He's the man who organizes the cheese festival.
Right. Yeah, so that's a sweet little spot. These are all places that they would be so easy to just drive by. But if you pull in, there's so many things there to see that you really want to, if you're on vacation, slow down and go into those little areas.
Also in the summer, there's a lot of farm stands.
Yes.
There's some great fruits and vegetables just right there.
Yeah.
Great place.
So you can get fruits, eat them in the car while you're driving because it's a rental and you don't care if you've spilled something. So then once you leave Freestone and you keep going up the hill towards Sebastopol, that becomes a little bit more of a twisty little road. You really have to take your time and cruise down that road. And then you pull into the town of Sebastopol.
But right before you get to Sebastopol, right in the apple orchards is a Wild Poppy Cafe.
Oh, we have been there
We've
many
been there
times.
a couple of times.
We keep taste testing it for our
yes,
listeners.
we're doing our due diligence, and we duly love it.
Oh my gosh,
That's a
everything I've
great
had
little
there is
place.
really good.
It's like a little roadhouse off to the side, beautiful back patio. It doesn't look big, but it's got a lot of space, and they have a great menu, great wine list.
And that's another spot that I think you would drive by because it just looks like a little older house kind of almost sitting
But
right
they
on the
have
road.
Really nice signage now.
Yeah, they
so
have
it's
a great
very-
sign.
yeah.
So you just pull in their Wild Poppy and then, there's lots of seating in the back, seating indoors, outdoors. They have a nice little wine list. That is a great little
Yeah.
restaurant.
And then it's just a few miles into Sebastopol.
Yeah, Marcy, she's so proud of her Sebastopol.
Sebastopol.
I like Screamin' Mimi's ice cream. That would be sort of the end of the day. So you'd be stopping, getting a little ice cream
Yeah.
cone at Screamin' Mimi's.
I'd stop at Third Pig and have a cocktail. Because you're driving.
As usual.
Your sugar comes from ice cream, mine comes from a cocktail. We can all have our choices in life.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So once you're in Sebastopol, definitely, depending what time of day it is, you could do lots of wandering around in Sebastopol. Great
Lots of
restaurants, great fun
got
little
the
shops.
Barlow, you got my fave ramen gajin, also Lunchbox. I love that place.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody else who loves Lunchbox.
Oh my God, that place is spectacular. Yeah, depending on the day, because things are open on different days.
Yeah, the only
And,
days that really problems, Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Kind of look at those days.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You just
Yeah.
never know.
Beginning
Double
of the
check.
week is a little slow time. But yeah.
So then what you've done is you've just gone from, the northern end in Healdsburg and made this whole big giant loop and out to the coast, and then you're coming back and you're ending up in Sebastopol, and then from there you can take some back roads back towards Healdsburg, or you can just jump on 101.
And that whole
whatever
route
works.
probably doesn't take more than an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's just a little over an hour, and you have plenty of time to stop all along the way.
Exactly. That's what I like about it too. It's not super out of your way at all.
No, and it's just so, I just think it's amazing that in an hour you can see so much.
All the geography.
I love that. I really love that. And so many places that we talked about, you really could easily drive by. You could drive past Duncan Mills and think, oh, nothing there. But there's so much there. And the same with Freestone. Definitely go there, and definitely go down to Spud Point. There's multiple little restaurants down there now. My favorite is Spud Point Crab Shack, but there's several little places to get a crab sandwich there.
Yeah.
And you can sit there and eat it, but really, if you've come this far and you don't drive out to Bodega Head,
Take 4
you
more
are
minutes and go to the
missing
head.
out in a huge way. It is just awe-inspiring. I mean, it's so beautiful.
And at the top, there are although there's some very aggressive seagulls up there.
Yeah, they always come and sit on the table.
They come
with
in
me.
and they're waiting for you to drop something.
Yeah, I've had some good close-up photos
Oh,
of
that
them
gives you
also.
the birds feeling.
Yeah,
It
well, hopefully
brings
not.
it all together.
And then you run screaming to your car, something like that. It really is beautiful, and the rock formations up there on that coast.
And that's a nice hike, too. There's
Yeah.
a great hike.
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention that. I
It's a
sort of
Bodega
forgot.
Head hike.
But if you also, early on, just after that little restaurant by Jenner, when you start heading up the hill by Goat Rock, there's multiple places you can pull over, and there's a trail that really does go the whole length
That
of
Cordum Trail
The Cordum Trail goes
from Wrights Beach all the way to Goat Rock,
Yeah.
and it's on little boardwalk.
Right, it's easy
It's
to walk.
really beautiful.
It's pretty flat. The only thing is dress warm, because it can be windy. Then let's see. Then you've left Sebastopol and you're heading back towards Healdsburg. So there's multiple different back roads you can take, or you can just jump on the highway and come back to town.
Such a great itinerary. That is a must do.
I think it really is.
Yeah, because you like you said, you get the. It's like God bless America, from the mountains to the redwoods to the ocean, white with foam.
There we go. We probably
But no,
should have had some wine for this.
And then you get into the pasture,
Yeah.
and it's really We do this all the time, even when we don't have people in town. It is our let's take a Sunday drive, or really what I like is a Tuesday drive.
Well, yeah.
Because nobody's out there.
Yeah, every once in a while we go out there on the weekend and we realize, oh yeah, it's the weekend. Years ago, one of my sons had a wine touring business, and oftentimes he had people who, just did wineries for the day, but then he often had people who just wanted a nice scenic tour. And so this was on his website, and he called it Mom's Favorite Drive.
Ah, that's sweet.
So we'd always have people say, I want to take Mom's Favorite Drive. That's
Very
kind of
good.
my input for today. Just like,
Check it
if you
out.
have enough days here, take one to just really see the scenery and enjoy it. It's beautiful. So that is one drive and one trip you can take. Now, Marcy and I just did another trip that was the polar opposite. Polar opposite of this trip. We started out by driving to San Francisco, which is, not thrilling, in the early morning hours, to jump on a plane at SFO to go to LA for the Taste Awards.
The Taste Awards. We got all dolled up.
Yeah. That was our red carpet moment. 2 girls from the country.
Yep. We went to claim not 1, not 2, but 3 Taste Awards. And we're very grateful to all you listeners and everyone who voted for us and everyone who listens to us. I mean, we do this for you. But, traveling with Beth is an experience. It's like, what I love about Beth is she's up for anything, and she has her little favorite spots. And what I really like is when you're on the airplane, she got her book and she doesn't talk to you, which is just my preference. But then often she'll want to pass you some gum. And she gave me a stick of gum that, I swear to God, it came from when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Okay,
I put it in
changed
my
handbags.
mouth, and it was like chalk, and it just crumbled in my mouth. And I'm like, what is this?
If you chew it enough, it becomes gum again.
I just wanted to look at her like, well, I hope you wouldn't offer this to a child, because it was unbelievable. So for our item of the day, I have something for Bethy Beth. I have 2 special gums, new and fresh, And one of them, and we'll
That's
put
nice.
pictures on it says cool ass grandma.
There you
because
go.
she is
I
a cool
love
ass
that.
grandma. And
Oh my
please
God.
use this gum
That
because
is
that other
priceless.
gum should be
I threw
taken
it out.
away from
I threw it out.
TSA. And the other says, step aside coffee. This is a job for alcohol. So, yeah, I mean,
Okay, these are good.
I was trying to find a polite way to spit this gum out. It just became like a chalky mess. I'm like, how long have you had this gum? I think it was from the 50s.
I threw mine out too.
Oh.
Okay, so like I changed handbags for the trip,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize how long that gum had been in that handbag.
Yeah. All righty then.
One small mistake.
Boy, oh boy. And I'm just thinking, I'm not even going to say anything. Like, but yeah, so we hit the town, and after Taste Awards, it's quite late, and you think, wow, everything's a late night, but where we were staying, there's not a lot open late. So we ended up finding this place that was open till 2 a.m. and it was like it was called the Saddle Ranch, and it was crazy portions, but it was perfect. We had our little Taste Awards, and we plunked them down on the table, and like by 1 a.m., that place was hopping.
It was hopping.
It was so many people in there.
There was a mechanical bull.
Oh, that's
Let's
mechanical.
just say.
So after a few
Be clear about where we
drinks,
went.
we have video of Beth on the mechanical bull with her 3 Taste Awards flying every which way.
No, we do not.
And that place was a trip. And the food was good, but it was like enormous.
The food was delicious.
Portions.
And we should give a shout out because we had our awards on the table, and we had like a burger and fries and a beer, because the wine list was not what we were going to have. So we had a beer. But then we asked the server if she'd take a photo of us with our, awards sitting there. And she was really darling and charming and super excited for us, wanted to hear all about the podcast and everything. And then when we finished our dinner, they said, I really just want something sweet. So I'm going to order one dessert and we can just have a couple bites. I just wanted something. I should have just gone to the hotel and gone to the vending machine and got a candy bar, but I ordered a dessert. And then the server
They start putting down all these
of the desserts.
And I'm like, oh, no, I think this is for another table. She goes, no, this is for you.
Yeah, no, it was a special treat for us for, winning the podcast and helping us celebrate. So there's 2 of us sitting there with like 4
giant. And when I say giant, I'm not kidding. That brownie was as big as a lunchbox.
Yeah.
And it was just huge. And then they also had these big cotton candy things. It was wild. But
it was wild.
I just looked, I said, we can't eat this. And Beth goes, we'll try.
I'm like, take a bite. We have to, you got to be polite.
So we have to take a bite. I'm like, oh my God.
We ended up boxing it all up and taking it home. And my husband had it for probably 3 days. He managed to eat all those cakes and it was delicious.
You got all those brownies through TSA. I mean, they look like you're harboring something in there.
It was super, super sweet of her, and we really appreciate it. It was a super fun restaurant.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was very close to where we were. It's like to find a late.
It's right on Sunset, across from the comedy club, so it was jamming
and
late in the day.
And it was crazy because it was really only started getting crazy after midnight.
Right, yeah. But anyway, it was fun. It was an adventure, and traveling with Marcy is also an adventure, but I won't.
What? I didn't give you any bogus gum.
No. So, we had a good time. Thank you for voting for us. It was really motivational because I was thinking maybe we should just wrap this show up. And then I'm like, oh, man, we can't wrap it up now.
No. The people have spoken.
We
must continue.
We have to keep going. So we're going to keep going. So do you have a book that you want to share with us today?
I actually do. My very good friends, Mary Kressler and Sean Martin, have a new book out called Fire and Wine Backyard Pizza. They released a book a couple of years ago called Fire and Wine. They're like barbecue grill experts. Uh-huh. They are amazing. I've known Mary, I think, almost 15 years now. And they just released this. It came out on April 1st. I pre-ordered it, so it would be in my mailbox right away.
Aren't you that?
And it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And I will actually make more because I'm not a big griller and barbecue person. I mean, we have a grill, but, that's Roger's domain.
So this pizza, they're doing it on a grill, not in a pizza oven?
Yes, it's for outdoor oven or grill. Oh, okay. But then they all have wine pairings, of course, because Mary's a somm and they're wine experts as well. So here we have like the 4-cheese flatbread, and they're recommending a Pinot Gris, a Vermentino. I mean, it's just spot on. I love the wine pairings. I love this book. I will actually make this because I do make dough and I do make pizza, but this is very inspired. And shout out to Mary and Sean, and they have a wonderful site called Vindulge, and they go all over. They do the big green egg competitions, and they're really dear friends, and I'm just so happy for them.
The book looks great. I think I need a copy of that.
Yeah,
because we do
get
have
a
a
copy.
pizza oven
Oh,
outside.
you have a pizza? You have to have this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this just I
Yeah,
pre-ordered.
the pictures look great. You know
Yeah.
how I am about
Yeah,
pictures.
Beth likes the pictures. But I pre-ordered the book, so when you have friends that write books, you must support them and you must pre-order because that's a big deal in publishing circles. Order it in advance because that really helps the figures go up and helps them place on lists. So yeah, support your friends who write.
I'll check that out. Okie doke. And then I think it's time for, I did want to mention this weekend is the Spring Wine Trail. So if you are going to be in the area, Saturday, May 10th, the wine trail, it's $50 a person. That covers any tasting fees. We have about 40 wineries participating. You just walk in tasting. You order online. When you go to the wineries, you just show them your ticket on your phone, and away you go. Online, there's a program that shows the 3 wines that each winery will be pouring. So if you are a big fan of Zins or whatever it is, you can find who's pouring what and plan your day. It's 11 to 4. You should probably plan on going to about 4 places. So check it out on wineroad.com. The Spring Wine Trail. It's right at the very top of the homepage. It's time for... Can you guess where I am along the wine road?
If you give me a clue, I might. And if you listen at home and get it right, you'll win a great prize.
Ooh, okay. Here we go.
So where am I? There's Italian varietals. There's an extensive farm and gardens. There's a pig.
I love the pig.
It's a Shangri-La off West Side Road. Where am I? Send your guesses to Beth at Wine Road.
So it's beth@wineroad.com. Yeah, just email me where you think that, Miss Marcy's hiding out.
First correct answer wins.
Yeah, we have a multitude of prizes that we'll be sending out. So can't wait to see your responses.
Yeah, it's a great place.
I think that's it. Thanks for listening in today.
All right, we'll put links to all. No, Liana will put links to all the places Beth and I mentioned today. I'll put a link to Mary and Sean's wonderful book, Backyard Pizza, Fire and Wine, and a link to Beth's 45-year-old gum. It was blackjack gum.
Yeah.
That's why that is from the 50s. So that's what was so. I'm like, this really is from the 50s. Yeah.
Okay.
She's got a lot of things she pulls out of that bag.
Thanks for listening.
See you on the Wine Road.